Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to start our lesson, that is the United Nations, which is coming in your annual part. There are other chapters also in history, also in civics, one more chapter is there. But today we are going to start the United Nations. Okay, in United Nations, we are first starting the background first, how it was formed. It is for your understanding that how United Nation was formed. What actually made United Nation to form? Aftermath of the wars. What is aftermath of the wars? After the war, the First World War and the Second World War, the two world wars, the condition of the countries was not good as they were all facing a huge economic problem. So the 20th century witnessed two world wars that convulsed humanity in a glory of bloodbath. They killed millions of people, left millions maimed and crippled, and brought into a wake of devastation and destruction. The horror and tragedy of First World War led to passionate and universal desire for peace. Out of this desire was born the League of Nations. The League of Nations failed to maintain peace, and thus the Second World War broke out. So it was a very terrifying magnitude and a tragic consequences. So once again now people wanted peace, and thus they were all enduring for peace even as the bombs rained. The bombs were raining down from the skies. The ideas of United Nation organization took the shape in this situation, in these conditions. That means it was actually the need and requirement of the people. So, in this situation, Atlantic Charter was formed. Winston Churchill, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, and Franklin D. Roosevelt, the former President of United Nations of America, met aboard a battleship of Newfoundland in Atlantic Ocean. They signed a document called Atlantic Charter on 14th August 1941. The charter was based on the various principles of mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation. We'll study this one in brief. Then came the San Francisco Conference. In June 1945, 50 nations met in San Francisco to sign the charter of the UN. Poland, which was not represented at the conference. It was signed in later. On 24th October 1945, United Nations was now established to save the succeeding generations from the scourge of war. So it was reaffirmed with the faith in fundamental human rights. On 24th October is celebrated as United Nations Day. Underline it. 24th October is celebrated as United Nations Day. The original signatories include Britain, France, USA, former USSR, and China. Today there are 193 members. The headquarters are located in New York City. Underline, these are our important points. So there are 6 official languages. The 6 official languages of UN are English, French, Spanish, Russian, Chinese, and Arabic. The UN flag depicts two bent olive branches which are open at the top. Olive branches. The flag which is of United Nations, they are explaining the white olive branches and the world map are on a light blue background. The branches of the wreath symbolizes peace. And the olive branches symbolizes peace. So what is the objectives of UN? Now the main part is you have to understand when United Nations, and you have already underlined when it was formed, who were the signatories, where is headquarters, about its flag explanation. Objectives, aims and objectives are the main part you have to study from this lesson. Organs, name of the organs. All organs in detail we are not going to do. We are going to do few organs, that is General Assembly, Security Council and International Court of Justice. We'll do in detail. Other organs we'll study briefly. Aims and objectives we are going to study of the United Nations, General Assembly, then we are going to study Security Council and then International Court of Justice. These are the three topics over which you are going to get questions also coming, and plus aims and objectives and the formation of United Nations, where it was formed, the date and who was signatory. These are also important part. So from these topics you have to study. Okay, so we will start now. Objectives of United Nations. From this also questions are important. Questions will come. So what are the objectives? Aims and objectives of UN have been outlined in preamble of UN Charter. They are to maintain international peace and security, to develop friendly relations among nations on the basis of equality, to achieve international cooperation in solving economic, social, cultural, and humanitarian problems, to promote human rights and fundamental freedom for the people of the world, to act as a common platform for harmonizing the activities of various nations. These are the main work, main topics on which it has to function. Very important topic. It has to act as a common platform for harmonizing, bringing harmony among all the activities of various nations, and for attainment of objective of UN, to promote human rights and fundamental freedom for the people of the world, to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which was twice brought suffering to the humans. So to save the generation from the succeeding wars, to stop war or to stop any development or background of war. This implies that every nation must abide by the following principles. All the nations should form these principles as the rules. All nations, big or small, are equal. They must all obey the Charter of United Nations. All disputes must be settled peacefully, not by war. No force should be used on any of the nations. Force, army force. So the UN organ are having 6 main organs are there. The General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Secretary. So we are going to study in details General Assembly, Security Council, International Court of Justice. These topics are selected. On this questions with functions I will ask you. You have to read this, put tick mark, and other Economic Social Council, Trusteeship and Secretariat. Briefly, we will get an idea of it. Briefly. So now, let us start the General Assembly. So General Assembly, what is a General Assembly? Here, general word you can understand that all members can sit here together. All members of the United Nations are members of the General Assembly. Each member of the nation can send up to 5 representatives, but they are entitled to 1 vote per nation. The general entitled to 1 vote per nation means you understand it, that if suppose in United Nation any type of any agenda, any topic is started, on that they require voting, that means support, that this particular rule we are starting, so these particular nations give your vote. So if one nation is sending its 5 members, this is not that one nation will give 5 vote, one nation will give 1 vote. When 5 people equal to 1 people's vote, okay, that is the 1 vote. So each member nation can send up to 5 representatives, but they are entitled to one vote per nation. The General Assembly meets once a year, but special sessions can be held during times of the crisis. Some of the important functions of General Assembly are to discuss international problems and make recommendations for their solution, to make recommendations for the peaceful settlement of disputes, to consider and approve the UN budget, to elect non-permanent members of the Security Council, members of Economic and Social Council and Trusteeship Council, to supervise the work of other organs of the UN, to make recommendations for collective measures, including the use of armed forces during a crisis, uniting for peace and resolution. All decisions are generally taken by a simple majority vote, in some important cases of a two-third majority vote. Security Council, the most important organ of UN. So now we are going to study Security Council. Security Council is the most important organ of UN, is often referred to as the enforcement wing of the UN. It consists of 15 members. 5 of them are permanent members. They are USA, UK, France, People's Republic of China, the Russian Federation. The 10 non-permanent members are elected by the General Assembly for a term of 2 years. The Security Council has basic responsibility for maintaining peace and security in the world. I am repeating, the Security Council has the basic responsibility for maintaining peace and security in the world. It meets as and when the need arises. Decisions are taken by a majority vote of at least 9 members, including all the 5 permanent members. A negative vote by any one of the permanent members would lead to a cancellation of the resolution. So this right to prevent action being taken is known as the right to veto. This means that any resolution becomes ineffective even if one of the permanent members votes against it. This means that all decisions have to be taken with the consent of all the permanent members. When no action can be taken by the Security Council because of the veto, the General Assembly can deal with the crisis. It can take whatever action may seem appropriate to restore and maintain world peace. The important functions of Security Councils are to investigate international disputes and recommend ways of settling such disputes peacefully, to call on the member states to apply economic sanctions against the aggressor, to take military action against the aggressor if necessary. So now we will study Economic Social Council, but in brief. Okay, this is just for your understanding. Trusteeship Council, just understanding, but International Court of Justice, as I told, General Assembly, Security Council, International Court of Justice, aims and objectives of United Nations, very important, questions will be touched, and also United Nations, when it was formed, its signatories, its members, and details of its flag. Okay, so these all type of topics you have to read. Others you have to read for understanding also. So Economic and Social Council, what is it? Economic Social Council consists of 54 members elected by General Assembly for a 3-year term. The main objectives of ECOSOC is to free the world from want, Its functions are to promote economic growth and social progress. To promote economic growth and social progress. To create a spirit of respect for human rights. To solve problems related to health and literacy. So this topic is for your understanding. Question will not be asked for it. You can put a cross mark here, and you put tick mark International Court of Justice, General Assembly, Security Council with functions also of these topics. Okay, aims and objectives and United Nations, put tick mark, and the signatories. When was United Nations formed? In San Francisco conference. That part you are getting. Underline that part. These topics you are going to cover in this lesson. Then we'll move on to the UNICEF in your next lesson part. Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council was established to look after the territories that were under the foreign rule and to help them attain self-government. All trust territories have achieved their independence. The Trusteeship Council suspended operations in 1994. The International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice ICJ consists of 15 judges from different countries elected by General Assembly and the Security Council. Each judge has a 9-year term. No two judges can be from the same country. The main functions of this court are to settle disputes brought to it by the member nations, to give legal advice to the other organs of United Nations on request. All matters are decided in accordance with the international law. The International Court of Justice is thus located in Hague, Netherlands. Underline it. So this is the International Court of Justice. Secretariat, just in brief, we'll read. Secretariat is the chief administrative organ of, just briefly, it is headed by Secretary General elected by General Assembly for 5-year term. So in India and UN part is not in your syllabus, as the ICSE Council is writing here. In the end you will see that topic is not a part of syllabus prescribed by the Council for Indian School Certificate, but it has been included just for the understanding of yours. So if they are telling for understanding of India and United Nations, then just for understanding let us read, but no questions from this part I will ask. Okay, remember it. From this part questions will not come. It is for your understanding that we should read it. Okay, so questions will not be asked. So remember it. India was one of the country to sign the UN Charter in 1945. It is therefore one of the founder members of UN. India has accepted the ideals of UN and also played a significant role. Means India has very sincerely followed all the charter, all the rules, all the negotiations which were done by UN. So very truly and very truly it has followed the charter and all the negotiations which were done with India and other nations also. So it has played a very significant role in promoting peace and unity in the world with other nations. India has supported the freedom movements of other nations and has helped the underprivileged countries. India supported freedom movements in countries like Indonesia, Angola, Bangladesh, Libya, Malaysia, Tunisia, Ghana, Morocco and Algeria. India has helped to expand the membership of the Security Council and admit new members to UN. India supported the entry of People's Republic of China into the UN in 1971. So India has opposed racial discrimination and apartheid in South Africa, and India has been the part of UN peacekeeping operations in Palestine, in Cyprus and Congo and Cambodia, Somalia. India believes in the disarmament or the reduction of arms and control of atomic energy. But this is how the relations certain charters which were launched by, given by United Nations, which India has followed, is given here, which you are reading, that what India has followed here, the applications which are given up to India. So India believed in disarmament or reduction of arms and control of atomic energy. India has therefore played an important role in conferences on disarmament. In disarmament conferences, India has played a very important part. India was appointed as the chairman of the Commission for Supervision of Truce in Indochina in 1954. In the Indochina dispute matter, India was given a certain supervision work by UN, and thus it was very well handled by India. Even during Cold War situation, India took a neutral stand. It did not support any of the either of the blocs, and thus it played a non-aligned. India played important role in repatriation of the prisoners of war. India has sent her medical missions support to different nations. India has played an active role in UN agencies like UNICEF, UNESCO, UNDP. Many Indians have served UN as an important post, like Shashi Tharoor was the former Under Secretary General of for the General for Communication and Public Information at UN. He was the official candidate of India for the post of Secretary General. When Kofi Annan's term came to an end in 2000, he came a close second out of second contenders in the race. Indian jurists like Nagin Singh, B.N. Rao and Justice Pathak has been the judges of the Court of Justice. So from India also there were certain signatories, the members in some important organs of the United Nations like International Court of Justice, in Secretariat and Secretary General like Kofi Annan. So this is for you just understanding, just reading this part, India and UN part. Okay, from here questions will not be asked, as here council also writing in the end. It is just for your understanding, so read it. Just read and understand it, nothing else. Question will not be asked over it. Okay, and National Court of Justice, General Assembly, Security Council, aims and objectives of United Nations, and about the United Nations, when was it formed, its signatories, okay, and in which place it was his headquarters, in which place are his headquarters. These short part are going to come. From these parts questions will be framed. So read these parts, okay, and understand the lesson. For your understanding I have read few parts in brief also. Okay, so for your understanding. Now in today's video class you will get your exam pre-annual answers. Pre-annual answers I will give you in study material section. In worksheet section I will give you your book exercises, certain parts, questions which you have to study. Read the lesson. From inside also it can be asked. Inside the topics which I have told, from there. Okay, and we are going to do the pre-annual answers. You will get it, match your answers with that, and you will get your answers there, and exercise questions in worksheet section you will get. So revise it. Okay students, read the lesson, revise it, the topics which I have told also, give stress to those topics also. Okay, and we are going to meet in the live class. We will discuss about these topics there also if you have any doubt. Okay, thank you students.